During a high-profile awards ceremony, comedian Trevor Noah took on the role of host, delivering a series of humorous remarks designed to entertain the audience and poke fun at various public figures. Among his quips, one particular joke stood out, drawing sharp criticism from a prominent individual known for his outspoken nature. This person, a former leader with a significant following, expressed his displeasure through a social media platform where he frequently shares his opinions on a range of topics, from entertainment to politics. In his post, he lambasted not only the comedian but also the entire event and the network broadcasting it, highlighting his frustration with what he perceived as inaccurate and damaging commentary. The post began with a scathing assessment of the awards show itself, describing it as one of the worst in its category and nearly unwatchable. He criticized the network for allowing such content on their airwaves, suggesting they were fortunate to avoid further association with what he termed garbage. Turning his attention to the host, he compared him unfavorably to another comedian who had previously hosted a different major awards event, noting the low ratings of that occasion. This comparison served to underscore his disdain for the hosting performance, positioning Noah as equally inadequate in his eyes. The core of the backlash centered on a specific joke that linked this prominent figure to a notorious individual convicted of serious offenses related to exploitation. The joke implied a connection through a shared location infamous for illicit activities, which the figure vehemently denied. In his response, he clarified that the comedian's statement was factually incorrect, asserting that he had never visited the mentioned place nor been anywhere near it. He emphasized that, prior to this remark, no accusations of such a visit had been leveled against him, even by critical media outlets. While he refrained from speaking on behalf of another person mentioned in the joke, he was adamant about his own innocence in the matter. The response escalated to threats of legal action, with the figure warning that the comedian needed to correct his facts promptly. Labeling Noah as a total loser lacking talent, he indicated that his legal team would pursue a lawsuit seeking substantial compensation. He referenced past instances where similar actions had been taken against others, implying a pattern of holding critics accountable through the courts. The post concluded with a direct address to the comedian and the network, signaling an intent to engage further in a manner that he described as enjoyable for himself, signed off with his distinctive title. The joke in question, which ignited this firestorm, was delivered during a segment announcing a major award category. Noah quipped that the accolade was highly coveted by artists, almost as much as this figure desired to acquire a certain territory. He then tied it to the disappearance of the infamous location associated with the convicted offender, suggesting it created a need for a new spot to socialize with the other mentioned individual. This punchline played on public perceptions and rumors, using exaggeration for comedic effect, but it clearly crossed a line for the target, prompting the immediate and forceful rebuttal. To understand the full implications of this exchange, it's necessary to delve into the role of comedy in awards shows and how it intersects with sensitive topics. Hosts like Noah are expected to balance wit with relevance, often targeting celebrities and politicians to keep the audience engaged. However, when jokes touch on real-world controversies, especially those involving legal and ethical scandals, they can provoke strong reactions. The infamous location referenced is tied to a figure whose actions have been widely condemned, leading to associations that many public figures distance themselves from vigorously. By invoking this in humor, Noah aimed to satirize power dynamics and historical anecdotes, but the backlash illustrates the risks involved when comedy meets reality. The prominent figure's choice of platform for his response is noteworthy. Known for its unfiltered nature, it allows him to communicate directly with supporters, bypassing traditional media filters. His posts often blend personal grievances with broader commentary, and this instance is no exception, combining criticism of entertainment with assertions of personal integrity. The threat of litigation adds a layer of seriousness, transforming a lighthearted joke into a potential legal battle. Such threats are not uncommon in celebrity disputes, where defamation claims can arise from perceived falsehoods, even in satirical contexts. Noah's background as a comedian from a different cultural context adds another dimension. Having risen to fame through sharp observational humor, he often tackles global issues, including American politics, with an outsider's perspective. This can endear him to some audiences while alienating others, particularly those who feel misrepresented. In this case, the joke's reference to territorial ambitions alludes to a real proposal made by the figure, blending fact with fiction for effect. The mention of another political figure in the punchline further complicates matters, as it draws in bipartisan elements, though the response focused solely on self-defense. The network's involvement is also highlighted in the post, with the figure questioning their judgment and airing the content. Awards shows like this one are major events, drawing millions of viewers and generating buzz. Hosts are selected for their ability to navigate live television's unpredictability, but controversies can overshadow the celebrations. Past hosts have faced similar criticisms, leading to discussions about the boundaries of acceptable humor in such forums. Expanding on the joke's content, the award category mentioned is one of the most prestigious, symbolizing artistic achievement. Noah's analogy equates this desire with geopolitical whimsy, using hyperbole to amuse. The pivot to the scandalous location serves as a punchline, implying a replacement for lost opportunities in elite socializing. While intended as satire, it taps into ongoing public fascination with high-profile scandals, where names are linked through association rather than evidence. The figure's denial is emphatic, underscoring a commitment to clarifying his record. By stating he has never been accused before, he positions the joke as a novel defamation, potentially strengthening any legal case. References to past legal successes against critics bolster this threat, creating an atmosphere of intimidation.